Welcome to Loleventvods. Watch the full game of today's LEC 2025 matchup.
The final game of week 2. SK Gaming up against Movistar Koi. It is 0-5 versus 4-1. Koi have watched Fnatic and Carmine Core already claim spots in the playoffs at 5-1. We'll see if SK Gaming can upset the apple cart and force Movistar Koi to wait at least one more game before they lock their spot as well. We have a Zyra, a Kalista, and a Cassante ban out from SK, and a Skarner and a Maokai ban alongside Rumble being removed by Koi.
Does this mean that Reeker might get his hands on Bloody? Or why do I keep saying Bloody now?
Well, I mean, he did.
Yeah, I know.
A name for himself.
Victor, I think, is the way to go forward here. And I think, yeah, just get something that's a little bit more damage for himself, because I just haven't been a fan of the SK drafts where they've gone for the Galio. Yep. It just hasn't really been that great. So at least getting something that's a bit more damage oriented should work out. But I think as well the drafts for me on a whole from SK have been a bit funky. Like going for the Nidalee, wasn't a big fan of it. This double Galio, wasn't a big fan of it. So it feels like kind of just going back towards simplicity. I feel like should be the name of the game here.
Simple is king.
No,
we have the Victor already locked in. SK really just want to press our composition if you can do it. Koi on the other side have the Corki and the Vi, two very strong picks already. Looks like SK might be going simple. Sejuani, their current hover. And now locked.
Great. I like it. And yeah, Ezreal works out very well here. Varus could be another option, but I think with the Vi on the opposite side, Ezreal very reasonable here. I imagine that Varus will be taken for soup on that bottom side anyway, so I think you're fine. But Corki, like, I think his home is now in the mid lane. I think a lot of people are experimenting with him in the bot lane, but we've seen here not the greatest success. LCK, it's abysmal. I think he's like 1 in 12 or something at this stage, if not worse. So, yeah, I think popping him mid, taking the Varus, and then looking for something from Mirren in that top lane. But this has been Mirren's great best champion, and he did a very good job on it yesterday, picking up the player of the game for it as well.
Going to crack out the Ambessa once again. I will say Koi have only played the Corki and AD carry so far. Super's got 2 games on it. Haven't yet seen Jojo Pyun on it. Into the second ban phase, Renekton immediately taken away by Koi. They know they have the flexibility to ban out a couple of top laners that can be a struggle for Ambessa here, because they want to make sure that Mirren has the best of times in that top side.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fine. I mean, you can still keep that flexibility mid, but I do think when you've got the Vi, you don't want to double up on the AD mid as well. So I imagine it will be flex towards that top side. And then I think for Jojo Pyun, you still have a couple of options. I think his Talia game was fantastic, but even when you looked at his stats from his time in LCS, he had a plethora of champions, like even picking up things that were kind of the flavor of the month, like that Nasus mid and stuff. So the guy has got a heap of champions he can play.
He said later to the LTA, all we care about is LEC stats now, okay? Nothing, none of those LCS stats over here. I'd love to see him play as Ahri again. I think he needs redemption. AB obviously a possibility. It does look like, I mean, Super currently hovering the Kai'Sa. We'll see if he decides to lock that for the bot side. It is a known pick into the Ezreal because of how much you can chase him, but it actually looks like instead of going Kai'Sa, it will be Corki bot and Hui in the mid lane for Jojo Pyun.
Okay, so kind of setting up here to, you've already got great dive coming through with the Vi and the Ambessa. Now you got the Severing Bolt to just follow up on that and really put the hurting down on towards something like Reeker on this Vladimir. Or, what are you doing again? Victor. So I think in the grand scheme of things, Movistar Koi have a really good spot here to just play for team fights, for dive, and with the Rakan pick, you don't have to actually have a lot that can answer for it. I thought they might actually go for the Braum here, just to be like, hey, we've got Sejuani Braum, decent comp for team fighting, but also that protection for the backline when you need it.
I'm going to pick the Jax finally into the Ambessa top side. Alvaro given last pick on this support. Nautilus gives you good follow-up to the engage from the Vi already. You have point-and-click CC, which is really nice. Means that if the Ezreal tries to ever escape over a wall, you can always follow him with the death charge as well. So Koi, very good all-in. Some range as well in the Hui and the Corki. On the other side, SK, they have a bit of poke themselves. We've seen how much Victor can do. Does need to be a little bit closer. Ezreal, though, a bit safer on the back line. And then the Jax into the Ambessa. Not a match I've seen too often, so I have to see how that top lane matchup goes.
Yeah, I think the fact that Jax has the counter-strike should mean he still wins like early, like the level 1 push and stuff like that. So he should be in a decent spot, but I do think the Ambessa is more just when we get to the later point of the game, I don't really care about Jax. I'm just diving onto the point-and-click CC from the Vi or from the Nautilus as well. So you've plenty of setup from Mirwin, even if he doesn't have the best of matchups in the individual lanes. So overall, I like what Movistar Koya bringing to the table. And I think it is on SK to prove to not just us, but I think a lot of their fans as well, that this is a team that is really able to take a fight in the LEC, because it has not been smooth sailing for them just far. It's a new roster, but they really need to pick it up here at the end of week 2.
I very much agree. I think we have seen them take a few fights. I don't think we've seen them win any fights so far. This SK lineup. Movistar Koya, on the other hand, have won a lot of fights. And I've been playing around with this joke in my mind. I'm just going to get it out here right now.
Okay.
Movistar Koya is a Spanish team.
Yes.
Right? If Jojo was a Spanish mid laner, he could be one way this game. Right? One way or another. He's going to find you. He's going to get you one way.
It's okay, folks. I'm going to turn off.
Mute me? Cool. That's understandable. That is understandable. Look, guys, as soon as it gets close to 10 p.m., it's my bedtime. Okay?
Yeah, the hour later has really affected a lot of people.
It really has.
Everyone over 30 has just been like, wait a second. This is not how this works. I'm supposed to be reading a book at this stage.
We see SK looking for a topside invade. I wonder if we'll see a lane swap from them. Rahel and Loopy are up here, but as is Genax, so it could be that they just look for standard lanes right now. Koi going to invade down towards this bottom side. Alvaro spotted on that ward. He can wait. Does have a sweeper of his own, but didn't sweep out the ward. Got one deep bit of vision out from Super. Looks like we will have a lane swap to start off this game.
Oh boy, my favorite. Actually, I saw, I don't know if you've seen the TikTok edits where they do like the really nice, beautiful music in the background and then the fancy writing comes up. It was just Captain Flowers.
Yeah. It's not real League of Legends.
Yeah. It's just, he really does have a way with words, you know.
SK will invade the top side here. Super will spot them as they do. Alvaro is just going to walk straight through them. Yeah, you might need to go all the way around there, Alvaro. Be a little bit late to the lane, but because MKOI are matching the lane swap, it will just be Australian lanes instead of a full-on swap hit between the two teams.
Unfortunately, one of Hysterics to row his boat in to explain how this is going to operate, but I'll be fine as... yeah, look, you're going to be first push here for Rahel and Loopy. Nothing too crazy. Still going to get pushed on bot. Rika are doing a good job of trading early with the Q, which is kind of why Victor has become very obnoxious in the level 1, because it's so difficult to trade with them. But it's just going to be a case of how do SK and Isma in particular want to respond to this. Although Ayoya snuck in past him and now going to be in behind Genax.
Level 2 gank. He just took away the blue. He took his own blue.
Yeah.
Hasn't taken any other camps. Just walked all the way around. And now he's going to go to the Grump. So I wonder if that was the possibility of gank that was immediately called off by either Mirwin or Elioya, depending on who, decided that it wasn't quite going to work. I wonder if also they could have seen the fact that Isma was on his red. I didn't see quite the crossover between the two of them, but always the possibility that Elioya spotted him.
I think because, as you say, he kind of realized that Isma was coming down, so he just backed off and moved into his own jungle rather than trying to go for any sort of split map. But it did mean that at least Isma, with taking the red on the top side, will have those extra few camps. So I think it's on Elioya now to see what he wants to do with that bit of extra time. But Mirwin, great trade on bottom side against Genax.
Having a whale of a time in this 1v1 so far. Genax did get a slight XP lead, got to 2 first, but now it's even out between the two of them. Rahel and Loopy get to 3 first. Super does have their out Valkyrie. Alvaro will get knocked up. Used the dredge line early, trying to stop Loopy from jumping in with that battle dance or grand entrance, but couldn't quite do it.
Yeah, took a terror shot, so it kind of helped out Movistar Koya a little bit there, but now Elioya on towards this top side. How dangerous are you going to get here?
I'm going to say not too dangerous because Elioya was just spotted. However, Alvaro can move. Loopy and Rahel just trying to guard that entrance, gate off Super and Alvaro from joining the party.
Yeah, I do want to give a shout out to Isma though, because this has been great pathing. So he took this top side, immediately ran over, defended his own, then rotated back up, avoided doing the Krugs, because it means that he's in position then to contest the top Scuttle Crab, and now he's just going to move immediately through mid lane as well and try and get on towards that bottom side. But you're maybe just looking for the gank onto Jojo Pyun instead, as Jojo...
Gravity Field goes down. Jojo has the flash, will use it early to escape Isma. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, trades continuing, top side as well. Loopy forced away, Ignite ticking, another auto is enough, and Super pulls out first blood.
Nicely done. Good hook from Alvaro to set that one up, but Isma now going to spot it. both of these resets.
Yeah, I don't know if he knew that Elioya was waiting in the bush, because Isma is now very low HP, and Jojo and Elioya can chase him down. Rika's just finishing his reset in the mid lane. It's like, Isma, you're on your own. Can you escape? Elioya flashes! And the answer is Isma cannot. 2-0 now for MKOI.
Yeah, Elioya immediately flashing, so then Isma doesn't even have a chance to react to the Q wind-up. Catches him, and then the punch to follow through means that works out. Remix is happening in the background. I'm not really too sure what that was.
I don't know if that went out.
But yeah, I think really good job. And again, just Isma pushing his luck that a little bit too far. Now 2 kills across the Movistar Koi off of what had actually been a decent start for SK just off of the early levels.
But in the end, it's just those individual mismatches that really cost them, right? Like the fact that Isma steps a little bit too far forward after good pathing, the fact that Loopy and Rahel get a little bit caught out in the top side, and it's already a 7,000 gold lead over to MKOI. And if you support what MKOI have been doing so far in this game, and if you want to support the LEC, you can subscribe to the LEC on Twitch if I press the button correctly. Subscribers get your name up on the screen, ad-free viewing, and access to sub-only emotes in Twitch chat. Plus, paid and gifted subscribers also unlock the Why Though emote as an additional reward in game. I'm not going to say that perhaps the
timing
emote
was interesting.
Why though? Why? Why though?
Can you spam? If you can spam it in the chat, I feel like that's a.
Well, it's an emote in game, so
Yeah.
you can spam it to your opposition. Arcane Storm coming out here. Jojo trying to walk his way away and will manage to do so. The Gaze of the Abyss is going to lock up Isma as Jojo able to walk his way to safety.
Yeah, Jojo in his interview yesterday kind of said, hey, it's feeling very much like I'm still over in NA because everyone is coming to my lane all the time. And I think Isma kind of read that interview, was like, do you know what, that's like a great idea, because he's been there a lot, but it's actually been working out relatively okay for Movistar Koi. You're trying to see if he can steal one of these grubs away. As focus on bottom side for the moment, but here we go. Yeah, just going to be able to push SK back with the push on top side.
SK were able to get 2 of the grubs, so no feat of strength going over to either team right there. Jojo Pyun stepping forward, has about 300 health to work with, and with Alvaro and Elioya just around the corner, should be fine. Rahel trading onto Super, Arcane shifting forward. Super has barrier, no flash for him. Rahel decides not to flash for the chase, with Alvaro working his way up the river.
Yeah, a little nervous as there was multiple members of Movistar Koi. Crab gonna go cross to Elioya. How far do you want to go here?
Alvaro has flash and ignite. Luffy's going in with the grand entrance. Vault Breaker charged up by Elioya. Rahel now needs to jump across, but Alvaro lands the root there with the staggering blows, and Rahel dies to the ignite. And oh, SK, what on earth are you doing? They lose another kill, another 2, in fact, as Isma falls alongside him. MKOI, like, when people jump into your lap, it would be rude not to kill him.
Yeah, it's just, like, you don't have the damage. Rahel wasn't in a position to really follow down. And he's like, we're going to send it anyway and see what happens. It just, every time I watch SK, it just feels like they're going way too aggressive for no reason. And it's kind of sad. Like, you're in a decent position where you've already kind of pushed them up, but the fact that your Arctic Assault misses, then you end up missing the W from Isma. That's all of Isma's cooldowns. Like, yeah, he can get the lockdown a little bit, but Rahel immediately gets turned on. It's a good call from Movistar Koi, but like, who's dealing your damage now? Like, Isma has nothing left in the tank.
Yep.
Rakan? Like, what are you hoping for?
Rakan doesn't win these. I can promise you that. I kind of get it with Super's like 300 HP. It's like, if we get onto Alvaro, Super can't really help because he's so low HP, but there's a vibe between your AD carry and you. It's very difficult to make that play work. Credit to Movistar Koi, right? They are a huge lead right now, 1,000 gold ahead. They're in prime position to win out this game, and you have to see just how well they're working as a unit.
Yeah, and I think I wanted to highlight just how good Alvaro has been doing in this, as he's going to get a gank on mid as well here. But this man has been impeccable for Movistar Koi and quickly becoming one of my favorite players, if not favorite player to watch in the league. He has, every time Movistar Koi have gotten first blood, he is the one that has helped out. 100% participation on that. He's a 60% first blood participation as well. The guy has been a beast, and I'm super excited to see just what his development continues to be, because this is only his 2nd year, and he's already top 3 supports in the league, if not higher. Like, this man is incredible.
When he came in winter last year, I think he was in contention for the best support of
100%
winter,
agree,
right?
yeah.
Like, had a very good last year. Obviously, a few ups and downs as the year went on. Mad Lions Koi at the time, or Mad Lions, had a few struggles. The names change so often, it's hard sometimes to keep track of all of them. But overall, had a very good start to his career here in the LEC.
And really leans into the identity of what Movistar KOI have created for themselves, which is working through this strong jungle support, taking skirmishes in river, having those pushy lanes that can immediately collapse. And I think it really speaks wonders to Elyoya and Alvaro's synergy there, that this is something that you can literally build the entire team identity around. And now they're going to look for Rahel, but he's just going to be able to back away from this one.
It's just chip damage more than anything else. You're not really going to be able to kill an Ezreal like that unless Alvaro is there landing the hook. Mirwin having a fun time in this 1v1 matchup, chunking out Genex. Does have the public execution, but it'll be a bit greedy to try and dive a Jax with Counter-Strike up that he has now used.
Yeah, it does mean that Genex will have to reset though, because he can't really contest in the next wave. So Dragon to Movistar KOI, and they're just going to continue to pick up pretty much not everything on the map, because those initial void grubs went across, but they are very much in control of this game right now.
Yeah, for SK, they can just try and scale up. You know, Jax scales well, Victor scales incredibly well. Ezreal does a lot of work as the game goes on as well, and even though Rahel has been harassed in that top lane, he has a CS lead, although the gold not in his favor. We'll see perhaps if SK decide to fight around the grubs. Both the top laners have TP'd down to the bot lane, so it will be at most a 4v4. At the moment, though, it's 2v1, as Isma has to flash the wall dash across as well to get to some semblance of safety. Elyoya now chasing towards the top side, has that cease and desist as well. Could look for Loopy, could look for Rahel.
SK are sticking around, and I'm not really sure why. Like, you've got push in topside. There is no reason for Isma to face check that until he has Rahel and Loopy starting to move across with him. So now he's out of the equation, and even SK trying to push in that last wave, oof, nearly cost. If Movistar KOI had gone up immediately, I think they could have been caught as well. So it's just SK taking a lot of risks that are unnecessary, and Movistar KOI punishing accordingly.
Jojo did have to burn his flash in the mid lane. We saw a little bit of it in the picture. I think it was Arcane Storm followed up with Isma just, running around the corner. There's always a threat. And now Mirwin is the one who is under threat as Genex, Rika, and Isma are looking for the collapse. Mirwin flashes away, public execution gets onto the backline. Genex still tanking up the tower. Mirwin still very healthy, and that tower is ramping up. Isma down to 100 HP. Rika trying to put the damage down as well. Meanwhile, on the top side, there's another dive happening. MKOI already killed off Rahel. Elyoya tanking the tower. Loopy was able to escape. Mirwin survives on the bot side, and is perfect for MKOI across the map. Rika, you stay around here, should be okay. Mirwin just dashes in, clears the wave, and then can reset.
Yeah, I mean, Rika accidentally taking another tower shot in the exit there. Means I'm not even sure if you can fully stick around. So dive successful on top side. They're going to get the tower off the back of it. And yeah, okay, you get some wave on bot side, maybe a turret play, but they just couldn't execute on the dive. Look, Mirwin played that fantastically, and I think this is one of the big strengths of Mbessa post-6 is how well she can survive thanks to that public execution, the mobility that she has, but still, I don't think you ever really should have committed that for SK.
It's just a bit of a struggle for our last place team. They are 2,500 gold behind, and MKOI have shown us just how good they are at solidifying leads like this. Like when they get an early game advantage, they tend to be pretty good at closing it out. Here, Rahel and Loopy trying to catch the wave in the mid lane. But Mirwin there in time to clear it out. Drake up in 2.5 minutes. Rift held about 3 minutes away as well. SK have a brief moment of tempo, as we so like to say. It's their turn in the chess game, while MKOI reset, and they've used the turn relatively effectively. They managed to pick up 4 plates in total in the top side. They've got 2 plates already taken in bot as well.
Might even look for a bit more on mid wave. You're moving Rahel there to try and cover, but that's not really enough wave clear, I don't think, to deal with Movistar KOI if they decide to group up. Looks like they're not going to do so at the moment. It's more about getting vision and river for that dragon that's in about 2 minutes time. They can then kind of use that as a launch pad, as you can see Alvaro doing right now, to get deeper vision. And Loopy, they're just trying to face check and hold on to these brushes to spot out if there's some play coming in onto the bot side, but MKOI at the moment just happy to take this one nice and easy and wait until that dragon spawns.
Feels like SK are playing for that mistake. You can see Loopy, as we said, hovering Rika. Perhaps Jojo oversteps, right? If he does, cool, you get a kill. Otherwise, you can't really force anything elsewhere on the map, right? Corki's relatively safe. He's also relatively strong, 2-0-2 with the Triforce complete. Jojo, the only one really who's susceptible without that flash. Mirwin a possibility, but we've already tried to dive him once, and that didn't work out too well. So for the next couple of minutes, expect SK just to have Loopy moving behind people, seeing perhaps if someone oversteps. MKOI will gain control through the mid lane, get the push through, because Corki pushes faster than Ezreal, and then can step forward into the jungle on either side.
Yeah, but this is why I was talking about that launch pad on bot side, right? Because you've now got, with the resets that have come through, just a bit of a move into here. You get this vision down on this bottom side to make sure that's all okay. And now you're in a position as well to maybe look for a dive on the bottom half of the map.
Rika gonna try and survive this. I'm not sure how well he'll do. Gravity Field goes down, Elioya tanks up the tower. Arcane Storm going out as well. Cease and desist enough. Elioya flashes away, and that's spiraling despair not only for Rika, but also for SK. 6-0 now for MKOI.
And you had a double reset from GenX and Isma, so they're not really in a position to try and trade this on the map elsewhere. Supa happy going to clear the wave. Rahel will be able to dodge away from the hook. Now a TP in behind Jojo Pyun.
Jojo has no flash. Glacial Prison is going to hit. Okay. Jojo, you overstepped a little bit. He's going to try and walk his way away. Just delay for as much as possible.
Get the wave.
Can't quite get it. Molten Fisher not enough. In the end, Isma picks up SK's first kill of the game.
But TP now available for Rika as well. So with him coming back onto the map, he will need to cover topside, but can also TP in for a potential dragon fight if they want to. Jojo off the map for a little while longer, but even the overcommitment on towards bot side means that Movistar Koi get mid. They get the push on top, so you're losing waves. They'll get a tower in return, but it's still like kind of a small cover over the gaping wound, but not a huge amount.
I watched a rugby match a few weeks ago. I can't remember who it was between, but one team was 87-0 up with about 4 minutes left to play. And this team gets a penalty, the opposing team. The team has 0 points. And usually in rugby, when you get a penalty, you're looking for a try, right? You want to get 5 points. You kick it to the corner and then you go for the try. Instead, they went for the 3 points. Right? Because they didn't want to lose 87-0. They wanted to lose 87-3. Yeah. They missed the penalty. And they ended up losing 87-0. And I feel like that kill was the penalty moment for SK. Right? It's, yes, we're probably going to lose. Yes, we're losing mid-tier 1. Yes, we're losing waves topside. But
we're on the board.
We're on the board. And that's understandable. Yeah. I'll be honest. There's a lot of motivation to be taken from not being perfect gamed. Obviously, they wouldn't have been because they managed to pick up a Grubs and a tower. But now they are about to lose the Rift Herald, and MKOI still very much in control of this game. They haven't stacked up the Drakes as quickly as they could, but they are still the only team with a Dragon in this game. It looks like they're going to use the Rift Herald to crack through some of these tier 2s and then maybe turn their attentions towards the Drake before Uttergun spawns in 3.5 minutes.
I think the thing is, usually you see Rift Herald kind of used to crack open a tier 1 tower because you're struggling to get there as Mirwin, nice trades, but the fact that you've already taken top and mid means that you just get to use it on tier 2. Yeah. If you crack the mid tier 2, it becomes nigh on impossible then for SK to really hold control over an area for Atakan, because you just push in that wave to the inhibitor turret and then establish that vision on the side of the map that Atakan's on. So I think this is where SK are just now going to struggle to hold on to any presence on the map, because the second they step out of position, it's just a Rift Herald in one of these 2 towers.
And credit has to be given to MKOI for how they are managing not to make any mistakes. Because in this sort of situation, it is easy to be like, oh, we're just in the lead, overstep a little bit, right? We saw there Mirwin trading with Genax. He wins that 1v1. You saw he was very much an advantage to the health. He looks for the public execution, spiraling despair going down as well. The 2v1 also in Mirwin's favor. Genax gets a counter-strike. Mirwin diving forward, just as I praised them for not overstepping. Loopy comes back in, but where's the damn damage? You don't have any of Genax's in there. In the end, the tower will fall. The Drake as well for MKOI. I was going to say, yeah, Mirwin backed off because Loopy was around the corner. Here, Mirwin could go in because Jojo's around the corner.
And to quote my favorite caster, Rakan doesn't win them. So it's not working out well for SK at all. As Movistar Koi just continue to take turrets in their faces. Alvaro should be able to just, flash away. And is now completely fine. So that's now just all outer turrets gone. Oh, so tier 1 turrets gone. And that Rift Herald is looking very, very juicy for any of the inners.
Yes, it is. And, I think with 1.5 minutes on the Atakan and 4 minutes on the next Dragon, we're probably not going to see too much happen for a little while here, because MKOI don't have to force the tempo. They're so massively ahead, they can just wait until they get to 3 items.
But Mirwin is on Ambessa.
Mirwin is on Ambessa. Rob, he's 0-0-0.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If he goes like, whoop, with public execution, and then just murders them,
I'm not.
Then
look,
you win the game.
I'm saying he can do that.
Look, I'm an analyst. Okay. This is my professional opinion. Look, to go through it again, you whoop, and then you kill him. That's how it goes.
That makes sense.
And you have to say whoop. Yeah,
in this situation, Mirwin is here.
Yes.
His opponent is over here.
Yeah.
Right, and then you go whoop.
Yeah.
Right,
and
then whoa, like this. Right? Yeah. Okay, cool. That makes sense.
We should do the patch notes for Ambessa next time.
Just go whoop. Just Drake Hound step all over them. I keep getting Drakehound Step confused with Bloodhound Step, which was the the Bloodfang you get in Elden Ring, the big like curvy sword.
I haven't played Elden Ring.
If Dracos was here, he would have got that reference.
But also, I think he should be.
Play-by-plays.
I think Dracos would be a little bit more upset because Drake is in the name and it's Drake Ghost. He should just assume it's him. It's League of Legends.
Drakehound Step.
Yeah.
His step.
Yeah.
He's going manic.
Yeah, it's when he raps. That's the moves that he makes. You know.
Yeah. That makes sense. You got Hammer Time and you've got the Drakehound Step. MKOI have total control of this game.
Course. Yes.
Yes. Wait, pending ride approval.
Soon, TM.
TP behind. SK are looking for something here. Loopy does have the quickness. Is he going to get down with it? MKOI looking for the re-engage, and Rika pops the stopwatch. Drahel caught out towards the backside. Counter-strike coming onto Alvaro as well as they're looking for the CC chain, but MKOI wrapped up Genax like a gift basket. He did. Wait, he did it. He's whooping. He's whooping on them, guys. Whoop! Straight onto the back line. SK get nothing. Mirwin takes from them everything.
It was just, they just couldn't stop it. It was just too quick. They were gone before their very eyes, and now the towers will fall with it. Just, again, great picks from Movistar Koi, and I really do like the fact that they are using this dive composition alongside, like, the Severing Bolts. Like, these are the combos inherent to this, and Movistar Koi are just setting up fantastically with it.
Well, Super didn't hit the tower. You do need the turning circle of a dime to be able to get to that tower. I think Riptide hasn't got those new stabilizers installed yet. You can tell I don't know anything about cars. Jojo stepping forward.
That's my 5-year-old bike.
I mean, they have Voracious. Just take the fight. You got false lives. SK won't even get any of them down for now. MKOI going to reset, it looks like. All credit to Loopy, all credit to Isma. They've looked for things. They just haven't been able to find anything in this game, really. It's a 5,000 gold lead now for Movistar Koi, and they are looking to make themselves the third team of the LEC winter regular season to lock a spot in playoffs.
I think the thing that makes me so excited for this split, though, is that it's really hard to call who's in top spot because, like, Movistar Koi, I personally think looks sick. Like, I really love watching this team, but you still got like Fnatic who are up there. We just saw KC do it, and like the coordination that you get from this team is great. Elioy goes on to Rahel, he pulls him out of position here. You've got the dive at the end comes through on towards Rika right as the Severing Bolt comes down. You've got good peel in the back line for Supa, and I think he's really stepped up into his own as well. Like some of the plays he had against KC on the Callista were sick. So yeah, I think it's just LEC at the moment is the most exciting it has been in a while. Like, I really don't know who's going to come out on top this split.
I think alongside it, it's not G2 at the top, right? Yeah. And them struggling as Jojo flashes over the Glacial Prison, does still have the Voracious Attica, and then meanwhile there's an engage in the mid lane, cease and desist onto Rahel. Loopy dashes away, saves his own life for only a second as the Vault Breaker follows him. Depth Charge going to land as well. They still are just chasing forward for Loopy. We'll see Elioya retreats. Genax underneath the tower. Alvaro and Mirwin still have their false lives.
That was a hook, Alvaro.
Hey.
Look, he's
we
winning.
Watch and we don't judge, okay? Mirwin's still trading in it. Like, you could just look for a little bit more damage. The thing here is, often if you're trading your false life for damage, and you're looking for cooldowns, right? You're looking for flashes, you're looking for ultimates. When you're on the retreat like that, you're not really going to get any big cooldowns out, so there's no point forcing the pressure anymore. It's still 10-1 in favor of MKOI. MKOI next week, by the way, have Heretics, G2, and Rogue left up. So 2 games they would feel like they should win. The G2 game, I think at the moment they would feel like they should win as well, but G2 today did look a little bit more like their former selves.
Isma's building Heartsteel, isn't he?
Yes, he is. I'm pretty sure. Double Giants.
Yeah.
Just click on the Giants belt there, we'll make sure.
Yeah, I was like, this is definitely not the Warmogs build.
But you could get a Clink.
It is, yeah. It is the... oh, maybe? No.
Yeah, the Heartsteel definitely builds out Double Giants.
Yeah. I feel like it's a little late for that.
Yeah, but a Clink.
Yeah.
When it goes clonk, like that.
Yeah.
It's the ARAM sound.
Maybe you're thunking with your clunks, I don't know.
Oh, really? If you... He's got to get some numbers on the scoreboard. And if that's how he's doing it, we watch and we don't judge.
I'm trying so hard. Look, I get it. Look, it is damage and stuff at the end of the day. It just feels very late to be going for this. I think even at this stage, a Locus could work out better for you to just say, hey, look, it's a bit of magic resist, a bit of armor, and I can shield some of my backline damage.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I agree with you, and I'm done talking about this matter right now, because everything I say is like, why? You know?
And that's why we have this emote that you can get.
That's true, we do. We have this great emote you can get if you sub to the Twitch channel. At LEC on Twitch, you can get this amazing "Why Though" emote if you see your Sejuani building Heartsteel when you're 6,000 gold behind at 25 minutes. Oh, did Loopy see them? I'm going to say he didn't. I'm going to say perhaps he did not observe the fact that MKOI were waiting for him in the bush. It's another kill. Over to Super. Elioya perhaps looking for Rika. Cease and desist goes in. Good stopwatch. Has a second to think about what he's done, what his team's done this game, and the answer to that, not much, as MKOI continued to collapse. Glacial Prison landing on Elioya, though. He almost falls. He still survives. Spiraling despair on Jax as they can't get their second kill of the game. The tower forfeit for MKOI. 12-1 now, their advantage. It's going to be an 8,500 gold leads as they take the tier 2, or take some of the tier 2 in the bot side too.
Yeah, Miran's got the other one. Going to be able to tear this one down. Although with the Hex Gates, yeah, he's actually going to have to back away. But still, Baron up and available. You get to do your thing as Miran. So again, no damage. So I think Miran's going to be okay with this one. He'll just walk his way out.
More send a message.
Is the message that Miran's...
How long can we CC Mirwin? He's got Swift March, so he's got that 4% extra movement speed.
Sorry, Miran can double kill.
Yeah, but we're ruining his tempo.
The tempo for Baron, yeah, they will. If we ruin his tempo here, the rest of MKOI can never get Baron.
No, MKOI can, but Mirwin can't, Rob. You got to take the small wins where you can. But yes, MKOI will take the Baron, as you say. And
are we being a bit? I don't know if we've gone a bit far.
Here's the thing. I think we are being jovially mean. Right?
That's kind of my thing.
Yeah, I think SK in this game have been disappointing. They haven't been able to do much. They fell behind in the early game, and MKOI have jumped on that. However, this is the 6th game in a row where SK haven't really been able to do much. And when you bring in players, and when you're like, hey, we're working on this project, at some point you have to expect to see something. I just don't think we've seen anything from SK yet. Obviously, there's still spring, there's still summer, but the fact that with 3 games left in the split, we are saying there are still splits in a month's time, shows how SK have performed so far. Jojo gets a kill on Loopy. Alvaro locked up for a second. Rahel was able to dash across the wall, buffering out, but Elioya's on the chase, and it's a public execution for Rahel as Mirwin takes him down. Isma, Rika, and Genax being chased away. Elioya could just jump across the wall. I think he's going to. Look at that Vault Breaker using the Oracles to catch out Rika, and the stopwatch doesn't really buy him much time at all. Mirwin dashing forward for Genax. MKOI with the Baron, 27 minutes in, are pushing through the base. The first inhibitor forfeit, and perhaps the Nexus Towers to boot.
Isma didn't build Heartsteel with Warmogs.
Oh, Warmogs. Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure, okay.
Sorry, but there's the engage. There we go, Loopy will fall. The rest of SK are sure to crumble. The towers return to rubble, and I think Movistar Koi are going to be very, very happy with this one.
Did go for the Warmogs in the end. Double Giant's Belt. In the end, I think he must have sold one of them, because I'm pretty sure Warmogs builds out of a single Giant's Belt. But yeah, as you say, MKOI will clean it up. 17 kills to 1. A dominant performance by them. Impeccable stuff. SK, on the other hand, found wanting.